A brand new CBS News poll is providing a look at Americans' views on Russia and intelligence leaks. The survey found Americans are more concerned about the possibility of improper contact with Russian agents by some of President Trump's associates than they are about the leaking of information by the U.S. intelligence community. Here to break down the numbers for us and talk about what else we learned from the poll is CBS News Elections Director Anthony Salvanto. Anthony, thank you so much for being with us. How do Americans really feel about the president's approach to Russia?
Like so many other things, split along partisan lines. Right, there we go, we're done.
Was that surprising to you, Anthony?
Sorry.
Not really?
Well, no, but here's the thing. You get a half and half split on whether he is being too friendly towards Russia or handling it just right. And it's Republicans who overwhelmingly, they are behind this president and they are following him, following his lead on that. So they think he's handling things just right. And then you get Democrats overwhelmingly opposed, as they are on so many things, where they think that he's being too friendly towards Russia. And as you mentioned at the outset, Jamie, you see they don't even agree on what, if any, problem there is, because it's Republicans who are saying it's a problem of leaks, and it's Democrats who are saying Congress should investigate improper communications.
And Republicans want Congress to focus on the leaking of intelligence, is what they're really talking about.
Exactly, and that's been something the administration has been saying. And so here again, you see Republicans
kind of falling in that line.
Yeah, or supporting their president. And this often happens on matters, especially people aren't always geopolitical experts, and they don't necessarily follow every maneuver around the world, but they do take cues from their leaders. And in particular, you see Republicans doing that now, and you see partisans tend to do that. So in this case, with regards towards Russia and Vladimir Putin, for the moment anyway, many of them are falling in line behind President Trump.
Okay, well, talking about Congress, we obviously have seen these town halls that have erupted across the country, lawmakers facing very boisterous crowds there. One topic, it seems, that really seems to be hitting home for people is about the Affordable Care Act and either the repeal and replace of Obamacare. So what are we looking at in terms of the numbers here?
As has been the case since its inception, very few people think it's working perfectly and needs to be left alone. But the vast majority of people say that it needs fixes, but not an outright repeal. So that's part of the public sentiment that you may see swelling up there.
Gotcha.
Having said that, the Republican base and the most conservative base is in favor of repeal. And so they are very happy if they hear that things are moving forward on that front. But you do see a larger number of people who say, do something to fix it or replace it at the same time that you repeal it.
They want something there.
Something there.
Yeah.
There's something there. And we've seen that before. I mean, people have sort of agreed with some of the components of it, even if they didn't like the whole thing. And that's been somewhat consistent in the polling throughout. And that may help explain some of the grounds.
Numbers and data. Yeah. Okay. Where do we see President Trump doing the best in terms of with Americans? On
the economy. I mean, this is a place where he really, it seems, has room to grow. I mean, his approval ratings have been mixed so far, but in poll after poll, we've seen people willing to give him a chance on the economy. And in fact, optimism on the economy is up, especially among Republicans. And we find that people think that they have confidence in his ability to grow the economy. So the question, I think, as we head towards next week and we head towards his speech is, can he start to bring over some of those folks? You remember, and you know this from, you've been out there. A lot of people, regardless of everything else, said, I think he can fix things. I think he can fix things economically.
Well, and there are so many people who changed from the Democratic Party and want a job. And so they looked at that and they looked at the economy in some of these Rust Belt areas saying, we may not love everything that he says, but we definitely need something to change in terms of the job situation. So I'm going to go with him, and that it looks like that's what we're seeing.
That's exactly
anyway.
it. That's what this is going to hinge on.
So when we look ahead to the president's address on Tuesday, what else can he really hit on besides the jobs factor? What are some of the other key points that he needs to look at?
Well, to put sort of a structure under that, they have confidence in him about fixing the economy, but they're waiting to hear a specific plan. And so they're saying, yeah, okay, we're going to go forward with this. But what are the details? And that's often what people say they want to hear in a presidential speech. So that's the challenge for him, to take that confidence and turn it into something a little more tangible, bring people over. And he does that, I think, by, if he can, deliver something that they see as a clear plan. In this poll, they say they're still waiting to hear that.
Yeah, well, I think that's true of a number of the issues that people like maybe specific things, but they want it laid out in a very specific way. And
Right.
we'll see that next week.
They want to get to point A from point B, but how do we get there? That's the connection.
All right. CBS News Elections Director Anthony Salvanto. Always great talking with you. Thanks so much.
That's fun.